everybody. Happy Friday to the Daily Antidote of Song. I am so excited. I'm Kathy Bullock coming to you from, where am I coming? From Kentucky, y'all. And I am so happy to be again seeing your fabulous, beautiful faces here on the Daily Antidote of Song. Welcome to all those who are live streaming to us today. Join me, family, and just waving to everybody coming to us from live streaming. We are so happy to have you be with us. If it's your first time, don't let it be your last, because hold on to your hat. It's going to be fabulous, as it is every day of the week, of the year. We're in year like 3. Wait a minute. It's day 1146 that we have been consecutively, with the support of through Carpe Diem, offering this singing session of joy every day, Eastern Time, noon. So the first thing we do is automatically say hello to all these fabulous people who are here on the Zoom, and you're going to be hearing from a just wonderful song leader, Saro, Lynch-Thomason, in just a minute. So I'll start with something wonderful, something marvelous, something good is going to happen to you. And so we have Joe from Tacoma Park, who's our fearless leader. We'll talk about Sarah a little bit later. Jaden is our tech person. Trish and Victoria, Arlene, Daly, Pauline from the UK, Susan from Ohio, Julia from Ontario, Kate and Jim from Charlottesville. Something good is gonna happen to you. Laris, who's visiting Texas, and from Morris, Bonnie from Idaho, Luda from Victoria, Karen and Oh I Love Your fan. Ooh, someone glorious, grand, victorious. Something good is gonna happen to you. I see Jamie from Victoria, BC. Susan Miller from Seattle. Hey, Kathy from the stolen Arapaho Cheyenne lands. Martha from Oregon, to Kathleen from Albuquerque. Let me see, Ed from Silver Spring, Linda from the Orcas Islands. Hey, Barry in Silver Spring, Jane in Texas. I changed the page, y'all. Let's see who we have now. Oh, Betsy in Berkeley, California. Ruth and Clive in Birmingham, United Kingdom. Hey, Gary, Aloysius, Marsha, Gay, Bronwyn, Deborah, Linda, Rose, Nancy's cow, Lynn in Connecticut, Jenny in Suffolk, Carolyn in DC, and Leah in Illinois. Cats, good to see you. Amos, Annette, and Kate. I think we've got everybody. And so we'll just say, something good's gonna happen to you. Yes, yes, and yes. Okay, now, on this day 1146, and the month of May, we are talking about lullabies, about our mothers and the influences of them in our lives, and just giving you a little taste of this magic. And we have for you today, Saro Lynch-Thomason. I just love that name, Saro. Y'all say with me, Saro? I mean, you just want to sing Saro, you know? She is a song leader, a folklorist, an artist. She's coming to us from North Carolina, Western North Carolina, to share. And so join me. Is this her second time on the Daily Antidote of Song? Join me in welcoming Saro. Take it away.
Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to be here again. I always love participating in this community so much. So we are going to sing a song today that comes from Shaker traditions. So some of you might have heard of the Shakers before. They're a faith community that has been around since the mid 1700s and has been in the United States since the 1770s. There's a lot to say about them, but what we'll learn about them today is that historically the Shakers have referred to God in masculine and feminine aspects. There is God the Mother and God the Father, because God is all aspects, right? So we're going to learn a song where the mother has some things to say to us. So the song is called Little Children Says Holy Mother. We'll learn it together. We'll add in an instrument, and then we're going to play with layering this song as well. So here's how the whole song goes. Then we'll break it down. Little children, says Holy Mother, soothe and comfort one another. Lo, lo, do, 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 lo, lum. And there is historically a third part to the song, which we will not learn, but just so we know it, it goes like this. Draw the cords of union stronger, wind and bind them around each other. Let them feel your love and blessing. So this song is all about union and living in community. The Shakers historically lived in large communities together, and a lot of songs are sort of like, how do we get along? How do we treat each other compassionately and with empathy? And the song is very much reflecting that reality. So here is our first part. Little children, says Holy Mother. Let's do that. Little children, says Holy Mother. Great, one more time. Little children, says Holy Mother. Then we have soothe and comfort one another. Let's do that. Soothe and comfort one another. So we'll put that all together, and one part really rolls into the next. Oh, little children, says Holy Mother, soothe and comfort. Right, we go into that next part very quickly. So we'll do that all together. Little children, says Holy Mother, soothe and comfort one another. Again. Little children, says Holy Mother, soothe and comfort one another. Great. Okay. Now we have our B part. And you're going to hear a lot of lo, lo, do, lo, do, lo, do. So the second part is made up of what are called vocables. Basically, these are just syllables that don't have any set meaning. So when we go la, 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 right, we're singing vocables. The Shakers, in the early decades of their history, did not sing with words. We can think about it being much closer to something like singing or speaking in tongues. And so over time, they did start singing with words. And they developed a vocable system to honor and remember this other way of expressing kind of divine inspiration, right? So you'll find songs like this one that combine words with vocables. So here is our first part. Lo, lo, do, lo, do, lo, do. Let's do that. Lo, lo, do, lo, do, lo, do. One more time. Lo, lo, do, lo, do, lo, do. And then we have, I'll keep this slow. Lo, do, lo, do, lo, do, lo, do. So let's do that. Lo, do, lo, do, lo, do, lo, do. Yeah, and you'll notice that in this one part, we're staying on the same note. Lo, do, lo, do, lo, do, lo, do. And then we have lo, do, lo, lum. So let's do that. Lo, do, lo, lum. So often the lo is a quarter note, the lodals are eighth notes, and the lum is like a period at the end of the sentence. It tells us that the phrase is over. Okay, so we're going to put that all together, and I know that's a mouthful. But we're just going to do it a few times and start getting used to it, and don't get too attached to getting the syllables just right. Okay, so here we go. Lo, lo, do, 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 lo, lum. Again. Lo, lo, do, 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 lo, lum. Okay. And it takes a little while for that to sink in, but I appreciate you learning it on a fast track with me right now. So we're going to put the A and the B part together, and we'll just loop that a little bit. So little children, Little children, says Holy Mother, soothe and comfort one another. Lo, lodo, 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 lo, lum. Little children, says Holy Mother, soothe and comfort one another. Lo, lodo, 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 lo, lum. Great. So now we are going to bring in the Shruti box. This is a harmonium instrument. It is, I see Carolyn looked very excited. That was nice. This is a drone instrument that was developed, this particular kind of harmonium was developed in India. So I will pump the bellows from the back, and I have some reeds that are exposed that will play some notes for us. So we'll have a nice drone behind us as we sing this. So we'll just get more comfortable with this song as we sing it. Feel free to close your eyes if you want to envision that. If you want to think about it from a spiritual perspective, like whatever that spirit of compassion and unity is, that good spirit of community. Or if you want to think about a mentor or a mother figure who's meant a lot to you. So here we go. Little children, says Holy Mother, soothe and comfort one another. Lo, lodo, 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 lo, lum. Little children, says Holy, excuse me. Little children, says Holy Mother, soothe and comfort one another. Lo, lodo, 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 lo, lum. Little children, says Holy Mother, soothe and comfort one another. Lo, lodo, 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 lo, lum. One more time. Little children, says Holy Mother, soothe and comfort one another. Lo, lodo, 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 lo, lum. Yeah. So.
Wow, that's beautiful. Oh my goodness. It really takes us away, it takes me away from right now in this room to the arms, of that lullaby of a sacred place, of a safe place, a place filled with a love. Thank you for that, Sarah. Where'd you get that from?
I learned this song from a friend of mine, Miranda Brown, who worked at the Pleasant Hill Shaker community, which is a
Yeah,
historic site, right? And I bet you know about that for sure, Kathy.
right up the road here in Kentucky. Absolutely.
Totally.
Town. Yes.
Yeah. And the song comes from a woman named Mildred Barker, who was a part of the Shaker community, and it goes back to at least 1857. Yeah.
Wow, that's a whole. If you're not familiar with that, please check into that. It's so fascinating about this community, the way they work during the time of enslavement and freeing enslaved people. They're right in the midst, and the healing and the help that they did, and the communities that later came. Oh, let me stop. It's just, I'm just so excited about it. But find out. That's just a taste. I want to find out more about, and tell me, since as we think about that song and the gentle shaking and rocking and that little children, and tell me about your own mom. Was she a part of your musical life? Or you
Yeah.
growing up?
Definitely. So I grew up in Nashville, Tennessee, and my mom, both my parents were a big part of my musical life, and neither of them really regularly played instruments, but they loved music. They deeply appreciated music and were always playing music in the house, playing records. And my mom, I think what I appreciate so much about my mom is she just sort of unapologetically loved to sing loudly as we were growing up, and would play folks like British folk revival bands, Lorena McKinnon, Sinead O'Connor, folks who definitely ended up inspiring my the ways that I learned to use my voice, and also a lot of the repertoire that became exciting to me in terms of historic music from Appalachia, and then looking over to the North Atlantic Islands, England, Ireland, Scotland. But she would always sing so openly and joyfully with these songs, and I loved, as a kind of a shy kid, I liked that she was so open, and that was
Just
really inspiring to
sang
me.
out. She
Yeah.
just, I love what you said, unapologetically. Joy.
That's right.
Oh, that's a phrase, y'all. Joy, unapologetic. And you smile as you say that, and I can just imagine that would have been really great, especially for somebody that's a little bit, shy on the shy side. She just going forward.
Yeah, fully in her body singing those songs, and I loved
That is,
that. I loved
that
that.
is
Yeah.
fabulous. Now, since it's Mother's a moment for mothers, I'm going to jump in and share a little bit about my own mama for about 5 or 6 minutes, and then we'll come back, Sarah, because we want to hear that song again and other stuff that you were doing. But let me tell you, okay, Joe, I have pictures of my own mama. My mama. So we'll move for a minute, and I have a few pictures of her. She's coming. She was born in 1925 and died in 2014. So she was almost 89 years old when she died. So here are pictures of her. Her name is Catherine Arnold White from Virginia. She and my grandma, they were real fly when they were younger. Fly is my term. I think that young people still say that, like real cool looking. And the second picture is when she married my dad in 1949, a Baptist minister. So she and her family were really prominent leaders in the Black community there in Northern Virginia. Very much, very prominent. And so she married my dad there, and he already had one daughter who she just raised. And so then the third picture is of my mom, and there is me. Ain't I cute? Oh my God. Sitting on my mama's lap on the left, my brother sitting on my daddy's lap. And this is at the church, because from the very beginning, my dad being a Baptist minister, he was very involved in church in Washington, D.C. And so if we move to the next picture, that was when she was much younger, but the next picture shows just a little bit about what she did, because she was a director of youth organizations. She was involved in all kinds of activities, but as what we call the first lady in the Black church tradition of a large church in the urban community, she was a leader in so many areas. And not only the mother to us, her 6 children, but also to children all over the community and all over the city, was accompanying my dad for all kinds of conferences. So for example, this picture of my mom is when she was 80 years old. And she was taken, they did a picture of it. And the picture up at the top is one that's finally of me and mom when it was my 50th birthday. So she came here to Kentucky. And, she's the pastor's wife. And everybody was all solid. And I'm saying, this is a party. So what does my mom do? She starts to dance. And she turns me around, and they say, well, if the pastor's wife can do that, then everybody can. But she was like that. She was filled with joy. She wrote poetry. She did plays. We were involved in. She was reading all the time. She worked in the public schools. We went to museums. That was our world. In addition to, you didn't know who was going to come to the front door at my house in D.C. It could be the drunk down the street who wanted some food. It could be the Korean family that worked at the store down the street and needed some help. It could be somebody from the mayor's office. It could be somebody, one of my sister's friends who flew in from France and wanted a place to stay. You just never knew. That's how I grew up. The bottom picture in the middle is just one example of the many times that we had to be on as, this first family. We were with Marion Barry, who at the time, early on in his career as mayor, before he got into some issues later on, but was really beloved. My dad really worked closely with him. So my dad and mom are sitting at the bottom, and the rest of us are standing there, and he and his wife and kid are in that picture. That's just one example of the many programs and conferences and all that stuff that we did working with civil rights movement. And then the other is just mom, who was just a part of our life. And so she sang from the time I can remember. I would play the piano, and she would bounce one of the babies on her knee and listen to me as I would find this new song. Oh, Mom, listen to this. It was probably sad, y'all, a sad song. But anyway, I was playing it, and I was so excited, and she would just sing along with me. And then when I would go down and practice, and I would get upset and come back, I can't do it. She says, go back down there. And I would go back downstairs, and I kept at it. So she was number one cheerleader. So I would say one song that makes me think of her is this one. It goes like this. May the work I've done speak for me. I've done, speak for me. When I've done the best I can, and my friends don't understand, may the work I've done speak for me. And it's may the life I lead speak for me, may the service I lead speak for me. And my sister was reminding me that was one of her favorite songs, wanting to make a difference. And at her funeral, there were so many hundreds who called her mom. And the grace and the beauty of which she shared, if I can do like even one iota of it, I feel blessed. And all of us do. So that's just a little portion of my mama, and just somebody I love. It just brings me chills to think about her. And so I'm going to move back to Saro and sharing with us not just about your mama, but now what are you doing these days? What projects do you have for us?
So I teach courses online and in person around traditional song from a variety of traditions. And what's exciting to me, I mean, singing is exciting to me, but also using the songs as an access point for historical and cultural traditions, what for some people are ancestral traditions. And yeah, having this embodied way of getting to access sometimes ancestral, but sometimes just like culturally ancestral practices. And so right now I'm working on a course that will be offered online and in person here in Western North Carolina that is called Singing the Wheel of the Year. So we will be doing a song-based exploration of the pagan holidays, of the neo-pagan holidays, and drawing from Western and Northern European traditions as they appear in the historical record, and singing. So we might be doing Old English while sailing songs. We might be doing songs in Proto-Celtic. We're going to be all over the place and really digging into that history more. So there is a link to my newsletter, I believe, in the chat. If you want to be added to my newsletter, you'll get to learn more about that when it's being offered. It's going to start in the fall. And with that, I think I'd like to bring us back to our song one more time. Is that okay, Kathy?
That is so okay. Now, let me see. I was just checking on the chat to see if I missed anything. It was talk about our Zoom audience. They're so informed. I learned so much from them, and they were talking about the shaker policies, and y'all just need to read all of that. And yes, I did get my height from my daddy, who's 6'2", but my mom was 5'10". That's pretty tall too, back in 1920, 1930 and all that good stuff. So I am going to say, yes, Sarah, please take us back to this song
Yes,
of
and
Little Women. No, Little Children.
Little Children, Big Mother.
And think about that community. I mean, I don't feel, Sarah, a huge divide between that song, the message, and the one I sang. They're both about community. They're both about feeling part of something bigger, helping to shape that, or being a part of that. And the one that I'm singing is just a desire to do that, to help to build and maintain and contribute to community. And the one that you're sharing is talking about being a member of that beloved community. Does that make sense? Sounds good to me. But anyway,
Absolutely.
take us to Little Children.
Yeah, and I want to echo what you said, Kathy. I appreciate the links that people are sharing about the Shakers in the comments. There's so much to say about the Shakers, and I often teach longer workshops so we can dig into it a lot more. Someone shared a link to Maine Shakers. It's like mainshakers.org, something like that. And that's the best way to hear from contemporary Shakers talking about their faith. So that website has a lot of good resources. So I encourage you to check that out. Okay, so we are going to sing again, and this time we're going to do something fun. We're going to layer the song. So the A and the B part of the song can actually layer right on top of each other. And this is, to be clear, this is not in Shaker tradition. This isn't something that was done with the song historically. It's a modern adaptation. But what I'm going to do is play a recording. I'm going to sing along with it once so we can reorient to the song again. And then after the lodal part, I'm just going to keep singing the lodal part. as the recording returns back to Little Children, Says Holy Mother. So it'll probably be easiest in terms of aurally for you to follow me, but sing whatever part you want. And this will go for a few minutes, and we'll get into this. Again, I encourage you to close your eyes, kind of rock your body if you want, and we can get into a very meditative space with this song.
Saro, before you
Yes.
start, I wanted to ask you, I know in a lot of Shaker songs there was movement and dance.
Yes,
Do you know if
absolutely.
and you all can hear that and feel that as this song was going on. Do you know about this particular song? If there are specific dances associated?
That's a great question. I don't know if this song was a dance song or not. There aren't, hang on. It wouldn't surprise me. There are a lot of descriptions in the song that could have been imitated. They would also often like pantomime what was being, draw the chords of union stronger. I can imagine a lot of movement with this song. It also has a steady rhythm. It would have been easy to to dance with. So not sure about this one, but very likely. Yeah. Thank you for that question. Yeah. Okay. Here's our recording, and I'll bring the Shruti back in as well. 1, 2, 3, and little children, says Holy Mother, soothe and comfort one another. La 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 la. La 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 la. Little children, says Holy Mother, soothe and comfort one another. La 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 la. Little children, says Holy Mother, soothe and comfort one another. La 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 la. Little children, says Holy Mother, soothe and comfort one another. La 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 la. Little children, says Holy Mother, soothe and comfort one another. La 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 la. Little children, says Holy Mother, soothe and comfort one another. La 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 la. Little children, says Holy Mother, soothe and comfort one another. La 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 la. Little children, says Holy Mother, soothe and comfort one another. La 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 la. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you to all the Shakers who've carried that song for so long and allowed it to be a part of our bodies and a part of the rhythms in our bodies.
Isn't that something that this song, when did you say we think it was done, Saro?
It was first written down in 1857.
1857. Here it is, 2023. And it rocks through our bodies and is so appealing to us. Now, that's some of the beautiful magic about the music.
Yes.
And as you were talking about accessing our own heritage and that of others and just building bridges. Wow. Lord, 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 Lord. I want to keep going through and going around town and singing that. Lord, it just makes me want to. Thank you, Saro. Join me, everybody, in thanking Saro
Thank you all.
for sharing this taste of all the things that you're doing. Fascinating. Be sure to check out about the new course that Saro's offering, and all the work that you're doing with your news. Is it your newsletter or podcast?
I have a the newsletter.
The newsletter that you're doing. Oh my goodness. Do we have anything else that we need to remind people before we head our way? Because we're getting ready to go off to the next thing in our lives today. Did we get everything, Saro?
I believe so. Yeah, thanks. Thank you everyone for singing together. Thanks for carrying this song, and hope it gets stuck in your body and consensually, and you can keep singing it and sharing it. And
It's already stuck in mine. I wonder what I did a workshop on Shaker music. It was in New England, and they would have lots of these beautiful movements of this way, building stars and, going back and forth. It was just so exciting. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful day this Friday. Take with you the love and the meditation and the warmth of these songs of that Sarah has shared with us, and the one that I shared as well, and just knowing the power of music in this daily antidote of song. Thank you for joining us. On behalf of our wonderful tech Jaden, our fearless leader Joe, just making it all happen, and all the family here on Zoom, and all the live stream folks who are with us, some for the first time. Again, the magic happens every day, one moment at a time. Take it with you. So we're going to say goodbye this time. Joe, anything else we need to say? Did we get it all? Okay. Enjoy, everybody. Don't forget to check out that shaker now. And we have other activities and things that folks are doing. Check out Facebook, check all of our pages on YouTube and Facebook, and see what the website, what's going on with the Daily Antidote of Song. Okay. All right. With that, I'm going to say see you later. Thank you again, Saro. Thank you so much. Thank you. And Arlene, it's wonderful to see you, my dear friend. Pauline from the United Kingdom. Susan from Cincinnati. She's about 2 hours up the road from me. Kate and Jim from Charlottesville. Laris, who's in Texas. Bonnie in Boise, Idaho. Carolyn in Boise. Oh, I'm just so happy to see you all. Susan in Seattle. Martha in Oregon. Kathleen in Albuquerque. Jane in Texas. Ruth and Clive in Birmingham, United Kingdom. And Annette in California. Jaden, as I mentioned earlier, our beautiful tech person. And in Knoxville, that's about 2 hours south of me. Deborah in Kentucky, she's right down the road from me. Bob and his bear in Massachusetts and in Nashville and in Silver Spring. Joe, oh, there she is again. Hi, Joe. Okay. And then Trish and Victoria, Jamie, hey, Victoria, Gary in Massachusetts. Always good to see you. And Storm, wonderful to see you as well. I'm going off to this next page. Now, who do I have on this next page? Oh, there's Kat in Vermont. Deli, hey. Kevin in DC. Is that looks like a little tiny fife or flute there. Kathy, I see videos off, but these people are visiting us. Oh, there's Betsy. She's in in Berkeley. And then the off videos, but I see Nancy, Shimo, Carolyn in D.C., Leah in Illinois, Amos, Moon in Alexandria, Aloysius, Lynn, and here's Mabel with her beautiful bear with us. Thank you again for joining us all.